For reasons beyond me, other than my poor impulse control and bad taste, I purchased a book that I found on Barnes& and Noble that popped up when I did a search for Yowie. So, I did this to myself, but usually things aren't so bad that I get literally a page and a half in and go, wow, this is shit, but this is shit. And I'm going to read a little bit until either I want to stab my own ears out or we reach a good stopping point. I don't know. I'm literally 3 pages in and I think sex is going to happen super soon. So bear with me. This is all new to me. Shizuku Kurokawa was a second-year high school student. He had a reputation around town for being really good-looking. Everyone he knew treated him kindly and watched out for him. Both his eyes and hair were a reddish-brown color that his father and 2 older brothers said were the color of black tea. Between that and his luminous white skin, he didn't really look Japanese. His family doted on him and would happily stroke his hair and say things like his eyes looked like delicious pieces of candy. Since his father and brothers all had black hair and eyes and looked nothing like Shizuku, sometimes he wondered if he had been adopted. But in fact, there was no doubt that he was his parents' biological child. He looked exactly like his maternal grandmother. When he thought about that and how much his family cared for him, Shizuku felt much better. After his afternoon classes ended, Shizuku usually headed straight home since he didn't belong to any clubs and didn't have a part-time job. "I'm home," he said, rushing into his house one day, but there was a strange tension in the air. He never remembered it feeling like this before. "Huh?" Shizuku asked, as his father and 2 older brothers were unexpectedly awaiting him, and standing next to them was a man wearing strange clothes. He looked to be in his mid to late 20s, or perhaps early 30s. He had such exquisite facial features that it was very hard for Shizuku to determine his age, and he found himself staring at him. He couldn't stop staring at the man's glittering black eyes that had a hint of blue in them. Since he lived in Japan, it wasn't unusual to see people with black eyes. His father and brothers all had black eyes, but they were black mixed with brown, and it was the first time he had seen somebody with eyes that were black mixed with blue. They were so beautiful that he was entranced, unable to look away. Ellipses. The one who came to first was the man. Shizuku saw him coming closer, and then all of a sudden the man held him tightly in his arms. "What are you doing?" "Adorable. Thanks? I'm in love." Ellipses. Shizuku's eyes glazed over at the man's sudden confession. Excuse me?" Was he serious or joking? It was the first time they had met, and this man was so gorgeous that it just had to be a joke. The picture wasn't very good, I'm sorry. He was in the arms of someone he didn't even know, so he tried to resist and pull away, but the man held him firmly by the waist. The more he tried to escape, the closer the man's face came to his own. When Shizuku realized he was going to kiss him, he screamed, "What are you doing?" "I'm going to kiss you." "No! Don't be shy. That's not the problem." Shizuku tried as desperately as he could to free himself from the man's arms. His father sighed deeply as he watched the 2 of them and spoke to the man. "Please stop. That's my son." "Your son?" The man raised an eyebrow dubiously. Shizuku gulped. The man stared at his father and narrowed his eyes. "I felt a faint presence of an incubus and followed it here. This place reeks of an incubus. But I thought your 3rd child died along with your wife. That's what I heard." "Someone must have given you the wrong information. Things were quite chaotic around here when my wife died." "So you moved to the human world before anyone laid eyes on him? And after that you cut off all communication. Even the butlers and maids at your castle claim they didn't know where you were." "I was in such a state of shock, I didn't want to see anyone. That's why I thought coming to the human world would be best. So you're saying it wasn't to hide the fact from me that your son was an incubus? Of course not. Why would I do that? Oh my god, guys. This is so... This is shit. It's literally just dialogue. Like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore. Jesus. So I wouldn't take him away, obviously. You know full well that every 100 years before mating season I search for an incubus. It's true the incubi numbers have dwindled, but there are more out there. I'm sure numerous candidates would come out if they knew they would serve you. There's no reason why I hide it from you. Really? You know me. You know as soon as I set my eyes on him that I'd want him. Don't be ridiculous. Shizuku's father was smiling, but his eyes were not. His father was usually so calm, but Shizuku could tell that he was nervous in front of this man. And no matter how he looked at it, the man was younger, yet his status seemed higher than his father's. Just how did they know each other? Why the fuck isn't he questioning castle and butlers and human world, and all he's thinking about is how gorgeous this guy is? Well, I'm done with that for now. I'm gonna find a sex scene and then I'm gonna read it, and it's probably going to make me want to cry. So enjoy. I suffer for you guys.